Today's session is about the controls. We started before talking about the controls, which means controlling all of the features of any object we entered inside the program. Our program is called the Visual Basic, which is mainly used for making or designing the applications, web applications or mobile application or Windows application. By the way, I uploaded a video from just 30 minutes. We uploaded a video that has all over introduction from the beginning of the book till the end of these controls. Please, the questions after I have finished, you can ask. I will unmute your screen and I can see whatever you want when I finished, please. The first thing of the controls, which is page 10, the first one is controlling the form. The form is the place I can insert any of the objects inside this form. I can change its name, its text, the background color, controlling from right to left, making control the layout, maximizing and minimizing the boxes, controlling the box and form border style, and make Windows status. At first, what's the difference between the name and the text? The name is the coding name. To write a line of code, I have to know the name of the object that I will put or write the line of code to it. But the text is the appearance text to the user. Like the button which is sent in the WhatsApp screen, this is the text of it as I see it as sent. But the name, I can name it whatever I want from inside to call it while writing the line of code. The next is the background color of the form. And right to left, the direction of the control is from right to left, or controlling the layout, which is the shape of the form, controlling it from right to left as moving the objects or many of the controls. Number 6, minimizing the boxes and maximizing the boxes, which is writing or making a range between the maximum and the minimum of each box. As I must have the minimum of the box and maximize and the maximum size of the box to allow from the small arrow down any icon to make it bigger or smaller. But I have to identify a range of the maximum and the minimum. Number 8 is controlling box, the appearance and the disappearance of the controlling box, which contains all the properties. And number 9 is the form border style, making a border for the style like a frame inside the form. And number 5 is Windows status, which is making a default of the minimum size and the maximum size and the normal to not change on it. Make it a default, make the changes as a default. Okay? If there is any problems here?
ميس أنا مش فاهمة
مس انا مش فاهم اول 3.
بس أنا مش فاهمة آخر واحدة.
مش فاهم
وانا مش فاهم مش اخر واحده
ولا ماكسمايز بوكس ولا كنترول ولا فورم بوردر ولا ويندو ستيت
أنا مش فاهمة ويندوز ستيت.
Okay.
ولا
انا مش فاهم كنترول بوكس وفورم بوردر ستايل
The next one is the button. We know that the button is any place I can press on it, and it can make one of the options, like the send button. When I press send, he will send the message I wrote it inside the text box. To enter this button inside the form, I will make double click on it from the tool box, double click or drag it and drop it on the place of the form. What is the properties of the button that I can change? The location of the button is the place of the button. The size of it is the height and the width of the button. The next is the text that it appears to the user. And we said before the difference between the text and the name. Number 4 is the background color, the color of the background. Number 5 is the font of the writing, not the size of the screen. And this is the difference between the size and the font. The size is the size of the button, the size of the whole button. But the font is the font size or shape of style of the writing inside this box, this button, sorry. And the foreground, which is the color of the text. And this is also the difference between the back color and the foreground color. The background color is the screen or the button color, the button itself color, and the foreground color is the color of the text. Then we will go to the label, which is like the button, but it didn't make a function. It's only the appearance of the name in front of you. As I want you to know that this screen is called WhatsApp. If you press on WhatsApp, it will not make any action. This is called a label, only a place of a name to know what's the name of this application or whatever I want you to know. I can change the auto size. I can make auto size, which is automatically changing the size of this label without identifying maximum or minimum. The next is border style, making border on this label. The next is the text box. What is a text box? It's a place that I can write the message on it or write whatever on it to make action on this text. For example, inside the WhatsApp, we have the place of writing of the text down. This is called, or the place of writing the message, this is called text box, that I can write and insert text inside. I can maximize the length and insert, the length of this text box. Maximizing the length is make it bigger or small, but horizontally only. I can't change it vertically. I only can change it horizontally, change its size horizontally, make it longer or shorter. And the next is password chart, which is identifying the maximum numbers, the maximum words or characters you can insert. And the next is multi-line, which allows multi-lines to show you inside this box. Okay. If there is any problems here,
ميس انا مش
خالص.
لا كله
أنا
تمام
فهمتش
يا
آخر
مس.
واحدة.
مش لا يا
the next is the list box. We have 3 or 4 types of boxes. The first is the text box. The next is the list box. The third is the combo box. And we have the group box and the checkbox. 5 boxes. Okay. The difference between each box, the text box is like writing a message inside the WhatsApp. The list box is a list contains many icons. So here the main thing I can't change is the items. I must have a group of items to show in this list. The next is sorting them. I want to sort them alphabetically or sort them from the bigger to the smaller and sorting them as a shape, whatever the shape I need. And the last one is the selecting mode. It defines whether it's possible to choose one item or more. I will allow you to choose one item or choose more than one item. The combo box is like the list box, but here we can auto select the things inside this box. As we have a drop down list, the difference between the list box and the combo box, the list, we have all the items inside this list appears in front of me. If I have 5 icons, it will appear gradually 1, 2, 3, 4 in front of me. But the combo box has a drop down arrow that I have to press on it to see all the items inside this list. And also from here, I can change the items. I can auto complete the source and auto complete the mode. The auto completing the source is a source of suggested items to select form. And the auto complete mode defines the method of list completing process. The difference between both, this is completing the source when I write from the keyboard, or completing the source from choosing only one character like E to choose Egypt from a list of the countries. You can choose the method of completing the process. So the auto source is a suggested icon, is the source of the suggested icon I select. And the mode is the method to complete my icon. And we will see it in the video. Then the last one is the group box, which is grouping many of the functions, or sorry, many of the icons with each other to make a group. And I have many items, but in a shape of a group. For example, I can say Edmund with Ali with Asim are one option, and Khadija with Heidi with Lena is the second option. So I have 2 items in this group box, but every item in a shape of a group. Then the radio button. The radio button is, I have also many lists, but I only can choose one item inside this list. So the first property in it is checked. It shows whether the radio button has been chosen or not. And the text that appears to the user to choose this button. And the last one is the checkbox, which is making tick on one or more of the chosen items in this